guys, welcome to my channel. It's Jade here, and I hope you all are hope you all are doing well. You guys,
Christopher is here.
Chris does this all the time. See, I'm still going to
and I'll do it next video too.
I'm still going to introduce you. I'm just doing my normal intro first. Like, calm down, okay?
And let me introduce myself next time.
Okay, well, we have Chris here.
Our wonderful husband.
Anyway, today's video is going to be about how I was able to get my professional job in just 10 weeks after relocating to Canada. And this is a topic that I think that you guys will find educational, helpful, insightful, or whatever. But before I get into it, let me just put a few disclaimers out there.
Listen.
First of all, this is my own experience. This is Chris's experience. This is our own personal experience. And we just want to share with you because we think you might learn a thing or two. This is not the be all and end all. These tips are not exhaustive, and it also depends on what industry you are in. So for example, if you're in if you're in like the medical line, you're a lawyer, all those industries that have a lot of regulation. Can you stop doing that, Christopher? If you're in any kind of, regulated industry, then this might not apply to you because obviously you still need to do a lot of other certifications and some other things before you're able to start applying and all of that. So if that is your industry, just pick the few things inside this that can be useful to you, but you might not be able to, do it as quickly as we are saying. Anyway, for you guys to know, I am a HR professional. I am currently specializing in change management, and I'm a change advisor at the organization that I work in. So Chris, what do you do?
I am a client success manager, and I also double as an account manager for the company I work for, obviously. What I do it for. But yeah, that's typically what I do 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah, so we wanted to just give you an idea of what we do. So if you guys are doing anything along that line, administrative jobs, HR, business related jobs, finance, marketing, that kind of thing, then these tips will be able to help you. Today we're going to be giving you 5 tips. So sit down, relax, and let's get into it. Like I said, we're going to be giving you 5 tips. I'm going to be taking the first 2 tips, and Chris is going to be taking the second 2, and then I'll do the final one. Okay, so the first tip is this: familiarize yourself with the system. I know that this is not rocket science, like obviously you need to, but don't just familiarize yourself by doing research. Try and see if you can connect with people who are in your industry that are already here. Honestly, I cannot stress how important it is. I was lucky enough to have some former colleagues who are in the same line that I am, that were able to give me very, very important advice, you guys. I had 2 friends who were in HR. They were able to tell me how things work here, how to apply, things to do, things not to do. And sometimes if you don't have a human being that is actually in that system, they might not be able to tell you the nitty-gritties that you won't be able to see online. For example, something very silly that happened to me was that I was applying for jobs, and you guys, I was applying with a CV that has 3 pages. Like they have
Booklet.
Do you understand? Like, I was like, I have to put all my experience, this and that. I didn't realize that they have an ATS system here that's just going to throw out your CV if it is more than 2 pages. So those kind of little tips are things that you will not be able to get from just checking the internet. Sometimes you may need to rely on an individual who is here that can actually tell you how things work in the system. Now, this is not to say that if you don't have any friend, then it's all over. Of course, it's not all over for you. You can still do your research, but it's just really, really important for you to familiarize yourself with the system so that you don't go and start doing things that are going to be working against you. The second tip I have is that you need to tailor your CV to the job description that you are applying to. Now, you guys, this is a very, I don't want to say controversial topic, because people have different ways that they go about this. But I personally, this is what I do. I tailor my CV to the jobs that I really, really like. When you first of all come, of course you need to tailor your CV. You need to first of all have a good general CV first, and then you start tailoring your CV little by little to all the jobs that you are seeing. But I would not advise that you do this for every single job. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you need to apply heavily, which is going to be my final point, and you tailoring your CV to every single job you're applying for may not help you to apply for as many jobs as you want to. Now, I know some people, they will argue with me in the comment section. No problem. I'm giving you my own personal tips, and what I think you need to do is to tailor your CV to the jobs that you find that you really, really like. So for example, if you want to apply to 5 jobs, right, as a HR professional, out of those 5 jobs, you have maybe 1 or 2 of them that you really like the company, you really want to work there, and you know, if you don't get it, you'll be upset. Those are the jobs that you take your time and start tailoring, start, you know, looking for all the words. Whereas the other ones, you can just apply with your general CV, because the mere fact that you're applying to a HR job, you already have some keywords in there, right? But do not forget that you do need to tailor your CV as a first instance to your jobs. So maybe when you first of all come, you can tailor your CV to the first few, but by the time you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the words are going to be very similar. They're going to be very similar. So at that point, by the time you've done your tailoring, you don't tailor for every single one. You can reserve that tailoring to the special ones that really mean a lot to you.
Have a base CV, then have the tailored CVs. The base CV is pretty important for your general applications, and then for your zoned in applications, you use the tailored ones.
Exactly. So for the third point, we're going over to Christopher, who's going to talk about networking.
So this topic is very dear to me personally, because it is how I got my job. And obviously I did the first couple of things as well, but networking was the biggest part of how I got my own job. It doesn't work for everybody, but I think it should, and I think it would help you, and it'll go a long way for you. So with networking, do not be afraid to leverage your social media, leverage people that you meet, job fairs, job boards, whatever it is, just leverage that, right? Do not be afraid to, if you say, okay, for instance, you see a job you like and you want to apply to, do not be afraid to go and see somebody that's already in that role within the company and connect with them and then ask them questions. Or ask them to refer you. Canada has a pretty big referral system going on. Quite a few companies have that. But do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to reach out to somebody you don't know. What's the worst they will say? They will blank you or they will ignore you.
Exactly. That's something that Nigerians are always afraid of.
They cannot kill you. They cannot insult you. So, worst case scenario, reach out to them, ask them a couple questions, ask them to refer you if they can. Just leverage their social media, leverage connections, leverage asking questions, leverage saying, hey, this is what I do, this is how good I am at this, and can you help me get into this space, or what do you do so that I can apply to this better? So just network, ask questions, do your due diligence, and I wish you the best of luck. My next point is, do not at any point settle for less. Don't do it. I know it's easy to say with your mouth, especially when you enter Canada. Jasala calls it NGNCAD, when your money just finishes or is going down.
Where you're still converting your NGN to CAD.
You came with, you can see the end, and you don't have any source of income. I know it's easy to say don't settle for less, but trust me, it's not worth it. Especially if you're coming with like a ton of experience and you're at a certain level. If you settle for less, and you go and, in fact, wherever you settle from is where you're going to start from. Yeah. If you, there was a time, when we came, my money was finished, and I was thinking, McDonald's, I feel I can sharply, but I'm like, bruv, no. And then, obviously, because of my experience, because of the things I've done in the past, I was able to network and then get some interviews come my way, and things were looking up, and eventually one clicked. So do not settle for less, continue to apply, and something will click up for you. So Yeah, just don't settle for less. Don't go and do that menial job that that you are looking at. Don't do it. Just be patient and you get something.
That point is actually so important because I'm somebody who, like, by the time things are not working, I'm always like
try panicking. Wanted to go and clean toilet. Well, she did not. That's a lie. That's a lie. But she was looking. She was already thinking of what's the next thing she can do. Maybe she go to library and volunteer.
But do you know what? So I feel like that point also needs to be balanced. You guys give yourself a reasonable timeline.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that if you're searching for a job for 1 year, it's going to 2 years, you will not say So just make sure that you give yourself a reasonable timeline. Don't be in a hurry basically to settle for less. Make sure that you've actually taken your time, you've actually stretched it out before you now say, okay, let me start doing something that is less than, because like Christopher said, once you start in that low,
that's where you are stuck. You are stuck there forever.
And that's not forever, that is the climb of the ladder.
But you take. Good take.
Anyway, so the final point is that you need to apply heavily. Now, I know some of you would want like specific numbers, and I mentioned one number one time that Christopher said is unrealistic. I think you guys should apply for at least 5 to 10 jobs a day. Yes. See, that's the reason why I gave you that point earlier, to have your general CV that goes to any and every company, and then you tailor your CV for the ones you really like, because that's going to help you to apply heavily. Look, it's a numbers game, you guys. It's a numbers game. It's better for you to fail fast.
Yeah.
Send out your CV, let them say, they don't want. If you're lucky to get to maybe interview stages where they can give you feedback as to why you didn't get it, sure enough, take the feedback, correct what you need to correct. But the sooner you get your CV out there, the sooner you understand what JDs look like, the sooner you are able to continuously tailor your CV to what the ATS likes, the sooner you can find your job. If you
see, shout out to my friend Ofri. Let me tell you why. Because this person, she was constantly reaching out to me like, how many have you applied to today? Me that I'm even looking at how much she's saying 5 to 10 and giving her bad idea. Like 5 to 10 is fine. Because Ofri kept telling me stuff like, apply generally, but how many have you applied that you have tailored to on a daily basis? She was stressing me about it. And it's necessary. You need to, I'm sure you are going to get tired of applying. It happens to all of us. We took breaks.
Exactly. That's one thing I wanted to mention as well.
We took breaks.
Make sure that you take a break. Like, obviously, you can get burnout. So you can take a week off, take 2 weeks off. Even this 10 weeks that I'm talking about, it's not like throughout these 10 weeks, we were applying. There were times where we went to visit family members, we went to Edmonton, we went to Montreal. Like we actually did relax, but you still need to make sure that you apply heavily so that you can make sure that your CV is going out there and the chances of you actually getting a call back increases. It's a game of probability. So the numbers really matter. The
more out there you are, the more likely you're going to get something.
Exactly. So take breaks, but make sure that you apply heavily.
Yeah, apply heavily.
So those are the tips that we have for you. 5 good tips. Do you have any other bonus points for them?
Yes, I have one that's very important because it happened to me. Don't be discouraged. I know it's easy to say with mouth. Again, I know my points are usually easy to say with mouth. Don't get me wrong, me I know. But don't be discouraged. There are times where, especially you interview, you go through I'm hoping for you that your first interview you get a job. That's my hope for you that you're watching this video. But there are times where, if that's not the case, you go through interview process, you put your best foot forward, and unfortunately for your best foot forward is not the best for them at that point.
Exactly.
It's not good enough for you at that point. It's impossible for you to say, you will not be to lie, you will be discouraged, right? I'll come my head the whole time. You'll be discouraged, right? So try not to be. My own mantra, my own motto for this thing is, once I get that email, it's like, if especially if it's a rejection email, we go again. Because you have to keep going, and you will get something. I promise you, you will get something. You will get something.
Definitely. I agree with Christopher. You definitely need to try and remain encouraged. My own bonus point is going to be for you to prepare for your interviews. Look, I know this kind of goes without saying, but you see, some people feel like, oh, because they were confident in Nigeria, they don't need to look up. Some people usually wing interviews. See, don't wing it. See, it's not about just being confident and just spewing and talking. You actually need to do your research. Check what kind of interviews they do, the kind of things they ask for,
You need to know
what
your
the
shit.
stages are. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I was lucky enough to get to the interview stage for an Amazon recruitment, and you guys, when I looked up their interview process, progress, what will I even call it, procedure, you guys, it was very complicated. It wasn't just a matter of knowing things about HR. There were procedures, there were things you were meant to say, how you were meant to say it. And if you don't do that preparation, if you don't check the company, if you don't look at what they like or what they don't like, you will definitely not be able to meet up to their standards. I remember making a mistake with one of the jobs that I applied for. I applied to a non-profit, and they asked me something that had to do with non-profits, and I sounded like a normal person. How did they even ask me? I think they asked me that, what do I think about homeless people or something? I don't even remember what it was, but I was not prepared for that kind of question route. I was thinking of, oh, okay, HR, my profession, and that did not allow me to go further in that job. So my own bonus point would be to just always make sure that you prepare for your interviews. Now, like I said earlier, this is not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there are so many other things that you guys need to know about applying for jobs here that will help you to get a job quickly. But these 5 tips and the bonus ones that we mentioned are just the things that we did that helped us to be able to get our jobs in good time, and we thought we'd just share with you because we feel like it might be useful and some of you might appreciate this kind of information.
Yep, you better appreciate it.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can also follow me on my social if you want to hear from me more regularly. Thanks for watching. Bye. And thanks to Christopher for lending his information and expertise.
I'm going to start charging management for this thing. Because I can't be giving people gems like this.
Anyway, he's happy to be here. Bye, guys.